and amazing things that has to do with our environment. Today we are coming up with something a little new. It's what it. We are celebrating birds, of course. Yeah, I know you're asking yourself, these people, what are they talking about? Yeah, you're going to hear something new today about birds, and of course we are here with a specialist, a wildlife specialist. Today is going to be talking a lot about the importance of birds, especially migratory birds in our environment. I'm not going to be doing the show alone. I have a co-host of today's platform, and I have my special guest. Please, I want you to take a cup of coffee, take a water, just stay cool. When you come back, you meet these special people. We'll be right back. Thanks so much for joining us again onto this wonderful platform of this your own very environmental TV show. My name is Favor, and welcome again to another very exciting moment. And this is Eredef University Forum. It is always awesome in this platform. We always come to educate ourselves, educate, inspire, motivate, whatever. So many things about the environment. And today, I said earlier, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so sweet because we are learning some things new. We'll be looking at birds because birds has their own place to play, or they have their own role to play with the environment. But before I go straight, we go deep into our topic of discussion, or our discussion point of today. I want to warmly welcome my co-host. I want to talk to Shay. Hello and good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you again onto this platform of the show.
Good afternoon, Favor. Good afternoon, viewers. It is always a pleasure to be with you here, Favor.
Yeah. Today we are looking at something I don't know how to call it. We're looking at birds. No, it's not regular. We are talking about birds. I'm sitting. I have my pen. Because I have to write.
Of course,
I really have to write. Mm-hmm. Talking about having a specialist from the University of Boya, somebody who has been in the business of conservation, wildlife. We have a lot to learn today.
Of course.
What are your expectations of today's program?
Well, as you said, birds are not a regular thing we talk about. So I'm learning. I'm here to learn as well. Not only the televiewers, all of us we are learning.
Of course.
Learning never ends.
Yes, learning never ends. Talking about our special guest for today. Before I introduce our guest, I would like to share with you our topic of today. Before I introduce our guest, here we are looking at something very exciting. Okay. Today we are looking at migratory birds. Mm-hmm. Now, have you ever heard of such a bird before? I mean, before now, have you encountered such a species?
Well, I wouldn't know if I've encountered one, right? Because maybe I've actually come across one, but I don't know it was migratory birds. But before the topic and everything, I had no idea. Like birds were, we just know, like we just see birds flying in the air. We don't really know. We have a particular one. We call this one migratory birds. We call this one. So, I mean, I'm excited, of course.
Of course, because you're going to learn a lot. Now, this is where we introduce our special guest, all the way from the University of Boya. Please, dear televiewers, join me. Welcome, Mr. or Dr. Bontu Pascal. Say, I pronounce the name well, Bontu.
Yeah, I think it's Buntu.
Buntu. I did not pronounce the M. Mr. Buntu is from the Department of Forestry and Wildlife, all the way from University of Boya. Sir, we are thrilled to have you onto this platform of the show.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Favor. Thank you, Madam Shea.
You're welcome, sir.
It's my pleasure to be on this platform and to have this dialogue and maybe we thrill our televiewers on what migratory birds are.
Of course.
Wow.
We're excited.
We are really excited because normally say we know birds. When you say birds, everybody knows birds. Now when you start going to another name, migratory.
But when you hear just as a person,
yes,
somebody who knows English.
Okay, someone knows English.
Yeah, because we don't really know English that much, right?
Yeah,
so the word migrate. I'm thinking about migration, probably
something that has to.
All birds move. Then it's about migratory birds.
No, that's the word that consoled me. That migrate. So does it play a role with the name of the bird? The word that migrate. Migrate means movement.
But again, all birds move. So why would they term a particular species migratory? Because I mean, we don't have birds that stay just in one place, right? Mm-hmm. All birds move. But yeah. Talk about migratory. It must carry something behind that.
Actually, like you said, the English language is there. Mm-hmm. Migratory means they migrate. Mm-hmm. Not all birds migrate. in this sense, birds move,
Okay.
but not migrate.
Okay.
It means birds have a certain range, like
which
all
they
animals. They have a range at which they move.
Okay.
But migratory birds are those birds that move quite distance. I mean, from continents to
as far
through
as
continents,
continents.
yeah, through oceans. They cover, I mean, kilometers to other new areas
Okay.
out of their range. So they mostly move within a defined corridor. They have defined corridor, defined by the area's geography. I mean, the climate. I mean, the weather conditions, the availability of food and water.
Okay.
Where they can have a safe home, where they can breed. You know, and those areas are defined. Birds don't just move. These are birds that move within a particular area.
Who defines the corridor? The birds or?
The birds define their corridors. They know how to move.
Okay.
Yeah, they have they use some magnetic clues, and they have what they call celestial clues that they use to move.
Okay.
They have a kind of a map in their minds using the magnetic.
So they have minds as well.
Yes, the birds have their reason, like we do.
Okay.
So they know where they are going to in a particular season. I mean, it's mostly seasonal.
Okay.
Like during the dry seasons, they move to areas where they can have water, areas where they can have greener pastures, like you say. They can have fruits, they can have seeds,
Yeah.
and you know, some of them can have some of their food, like some insects that they feed on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so I know some people are kind of lost. I don't be lost, okay? Now we normally around the world between 11, sir, it's between 11 to I think the 12 or 13, depending on the area where people find themselves. The world celebrates the World Migratory Bird Day.
Yeah.
So that's why we're interested, because Eredem University Institute has everything to do with the environment, and birds fall under the category of wildlife, sir, if I'm not making a mistake.
Yeah, you're correct.
Wildlife and forestry, and that's why we caught interest to invite a wildlife specialist to come to the platform to talk about something very important to you and I and the community. And that's where I want to unleash our topic for today, so you see why we are talking about this particular bird. Now, Che, just to tell our viewers that our topic for today is how migratory birds increase food cash crop production.
Okay.
How do these birds, this category of birds, how do they influence food cash crop production? Now, say when we talk about food and cash crop production, we're talking about agriculture and birds. Now, how do these two, how do they relate?
Yeah, there is an interconnectivity between birds and agriculture, as well as food production.
Okay.
Yes, birds participate in rendering ecosystem services.
All right.
Rebuilding the ecosystem, and food is found in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So our food systems are built like farms and plantations, and the food that you find in the wild, the seeds. I mean, take the case of bush mango.
Yes.
That is the food that you can find in the wild, not domesticated yet. For example, the bush mango and other non-timber forest products. That's still food. And for the agricultural systems, you can look at the plantations and even our small farms that we have behind our house. The birds participate.
Wow.
But now migratory birds have a role that they play in food productivity. And the first here is pest control.
Pest control.
Yeah, they struggle to control the pests that you find in the farms. There are some invertebrates that some insects that some birds feed on.
Okay.
And in particular seasons during within the year, when the farms are being infected by those pests, when the birds pass, they'll feed on them and release the farm of that stress, and that's definitely going to increase productivity in the farm.
Yeah.
Wow. Now we see where the importance of these birds is coming.
But we have some birds that feed on that actually destroy.
Yes.
Birds that
actually
or insects.
Not insects. Birds.
Yes. It's on both sides.
Yeah.
But I think that we're talking about migratory birds here.
Oh yeah.
And I think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. It's not all about biscuit. It's not all about nice. The birds also harm some farms at times.
Of
course.
But then I guess one importance, and that was pest control. That was just one. But think about soil fertility.
Yeah, because when they're taking it, they definitely have to send out the waste.
Yes, the first is that they send out the waste, and the waste are very rich
in
nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And most of our fertilizers are NPK. So these birds, there are farms where they find them inhabiting. The farms become very rich because of their droppings. The droppings make those farms to be extra rich.
Fertile.
Yes, fertile, and it increases productivity.
Now, so which crop actually benefit most from these migratory birds?
Yes, these are not, the birds are not that large. They are not like cattle. So their dungs cannot be that heavy. Yes, but we have not yet quantified to say this crop can benefit better than this crop. But there are crops that are heavy feeders. Definitely, it will be smaller crops that need lesser food as compared to larger
to larger crops.
Yes. Then I think there is also the aspect of seed dispersal. When these birds move, at times they eat the fruits with the seeds. And as they excrete, they send out the seeds. This helps to create new ecosystems, build up new forests, and increasing forest cover. And even some seeds that are found in a different country, you find them growing in another country because the birds, yes, they help to disperse the seeds. And in that case, they're building the ecosystem. They do that even in the farms, and they enrich the farms with new seeds. And we also look at the advantages of these birds in terms of pollination.
I wanted to talk about that too.
Pollination is very important. If there's no pollination,
we are doing a program where we have some grandmas that are watching us, and some of them are farmers. When we go some words, maybe they might not understand. When you say pollination, maybe you kind of define it to some of them who cannot really understand the word.
Okay, pollination is just like breeding. When plants want to breed, they have to transfer the pollen grains from the anthers to the stigma. And in biology, we were told that we have cross-pollination and self-pollination. There are some plants that might not be able to self-pollinate themselves. So in that case, they will rely on cross-pollination, and birds assisting in transferring the pollen grains from the anthers of one plant to the stigma of another plant to fertilize the plant. So in that case, these birds play that very, very important role. If you are not fertilized, you cannot produce.
You cannot produce, that's right.
So the birds, the birds go on to play that role.
Wow. Then, sir, I have a question. When you talk about some of these migratory birds, what they feed on, now we understand that some product, now favor, we have those who are involved in agriculture, the use of fertilizers and all of that. Does that also affect the migratory birds?
Yes, I think migratory birds have their challenges.
Okay.
Yes, their ecosystem is not that too pristine for them. They have challenges like we do.
Okay.
Yes, the first is that the world has become too organic. I mean, too chemicalized. Yes, with increasing pollution index globally, these birds are not safe.
They are not, especially with the pesticides.
Yes,
the ones we used to say, these chemicals we used to spray grass. That's what we call pesticides.
Yes, the pesticides and some other chemicals are harmful to the plants, to the birds.
To the birds.
So once they feed and they get polluted, some of them die.
Yes.
Some of those poisonous chemicals go to change their genetic content, what we call gene pollution. And in that case, it changes their breed. They can give birth to other birds with some disorder.
Disorder.
Yes.
So do we just like with humans?
Of course. They're like. Do we really have some of these migratory birds around us, like around our communities?
Yes.
And how can we identify them? Is it easy to identify migratory bird?
Yes, you can identify them by their species, like some band swallows, some martins. Those are some species of migratory birds, and you can easily find them around here. If you go down to our coastline, you find migratory birds around our coastlines.
Like around the sea?
Yes, around the mangroves.
Okay, the mangroves.
The wetlands.
Wetlands.
Because the wetlands are constantly wet, which means that their productivity runs throughout the year. So even during drier seasons, they are able to produce seeds that the birds will feed on.
Okay.
And because they are found in these wetlands, the birds will have water to drink at any time. Wow. So they can move from their destinations and migrate to our coastlines during those drier periods of the year. So you can easily find them.
Wow. Now, I know we're talking so much about birds. We have a small short video for us to watch. It's just talking about these migratory birds and giving us some little data about these birds. Please just watch this short video. I'll be right back with our special guest.
96% of all terrestrial birds eat insects. A bird the size of a chickadee will need to find between 6,000 and 9,000 caterpillars to feed just one clutch of eggs in a normal breeding season. Fewer bugs means less food for birds. Declining insect populations contribute to declining bird populations. We can all do our part to help birds and the insects they need by reducing our use of pesticides, advocating for better regulations, and supporting habitat conservation. Visit www.abcbirds.org/pesticides to learn more. 96% of all terrestrial birds eat insects. A bird the size of a chickadee will need to find between 6,000 and 9,000 caterpillars to feed just one clutch of eggs in a normal breeding season. Fewer bugs means less.
Okay, we're